Hey everyone, it's Sunday today, so that means it's time to sit down and chat all things generative AI and ChatGPT and catch up with the news in the week. Now, before I get to the news, I have been, of course, playing with Code Interpreter this week, and yeah, I found another really cool use case that I want to share with you. It's going to be short and sweet, but wildly fascinating nonetheless. So let's go. Now, of course, for those who might be new to this, with Code Interpreter, this is for ChatGPT Plus subscribers. If you are having ChatGPT Plus, all you have to do is go into your settings, and then in your settings, go ahead and go to the beta features and enable Code Interpreter, and then you will be styling. Now, from there, you just go to ChatGPT 4, and when you click on ChatGPT 4, there will be this little arrow. Click on the arrow and click Code Interpreter, and then you are ready to rock and roll. So let's rock and roll. Rolling is optional. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about this week was, okay, can ChatGPT Code Interpreter handle 2 datasets, and very large datasets at that? And well, long story short, it can. Now, so what I did this week was I looked at a interesting dataset called the Area of Moderate to Severe Defoliation by Insects in Canada. So I went ahead and I downloaded this dataset, and yeah, let's put it into ChatGPT. Now, for those of you that are interested in the dataset, this is what it looks like. This is a pretty chunky dataset with over 9,000 rows. Now, from there, I've uploaded the file into ChatGPT, clicking the plus button and uploading the Excel file, and I've put in this prompt: please provide some insights of this dataset regarding the area of moderate to severe defoliation, including beetle-killed trees by insects in Canada. So let's go ahead and click run and see what comes up. Okay, now the prompt has finished working, and we see that the output says, okay, this is what all of these categories are. Fantastic. And then it will talk about filling in missing values of data and go and chat about, well, it literally will show us a line graph of year-end defoliation, which is super useful. Not only that, we see the most damaging insect species. So ChatGPT has come up with the totals of the graph of all the spruce budworms. And it's wild because this took like literally maybe 2 minutes maximum. And then we see the jurisdictions with the most defoliation. So we see that Ontario has the most, unfortunately. Fantastic. And it goes based into some insights on these visualizations. Come on. Yeah. Now, what if we go one step further and say, hey, let's look at some climate data and see if there's any correlations with this. Now, for this exercise, I was able to go to Kaggle to download the Canadian temperature dataset, and you'll see that this dataset is 52 megabytes. So you know that this is a whopping large dataset. So I've gone and I've downloaded it. So I went ahead and downloaded it, but it is 52 megabytes, and it does take some time for ChatGPT to upload this to run it. So I actually found that the zip file, which was only 15 megabytes, was a little bit trimmer and quicker to upload. So I've uploaded the zip file of the CSV. Now, in opening the CSV file, it has more than the maximum rows in Excel, so you know that this is a giant data set. I mean, we're talking this is so large that it starts in 1917. Anyways, back to the fun. So I have uploaded the zip file and I have put in this prompt: please provide some insights and correlations with temperature data in Canada and defoliation. And of course, shout out that we know that there's a difference between correlation and causation. Great, so it has finished. It finished in like literally 2 minutes. And what it does again is it outlines the categories in the data set, and then it cleans up some of the data, or it looks to aggregate it. And then further, what I find really fascinating and really cool is that we saw in the data set that it bases the data is based on weather stations. So it aggregates the weather stations and kind of averages it into provinces. So it does all of these calculations already for us, which is super neat. And then it calculates some correlations after this. So then it computes the correlations, and we not only does it look at temperature, it looks at snowfall and precipitation. So it talks about the end correlation values and how they might not be strong linear relationships. So again, this is super neat, and I think this is like wildly amazing for data scientists and people working with data and different data sets, calculating data. Of course, we should say, always be critical, don't blindly trust, etc., and don't put in sensitive data like company data into here. But it's really cool to see what sort of things could be possible with the kind of a closed enterprise only environment and the enabling of Code Interpreter. Now, the other cool thing that I found out is that with the Code Interpreter, you can put the results into an email. So the prompt that I've created for this is provide the key highlights of this analysis and the earlier graphs into an email with the subject defoliation insights. And you can see it will spit out the work and an email file. Now I'll go and open up the email file. And here we go. Come on. Okay, it didn't get the subject, but that's fine. Look at this. Dear team, here are some highlights for So we can just go ahead and copy and paste or reply and edit all the details, etc. forward. And then here again, we have it automatically created a PNG with our graphs. Come on. How cool. Okay. Yeah, I think this is so neat. I think this... Yeah, I can imagine that once there is a closed enterprise of this, like we're going to see massive shifts in workflow. Like, yeah. Anyways, so that was just me geeking out. There's another few cool things with Code Interpreter that are just kind of fun. So actually, let's just show them. They're just fun. Okay, the first off is generating QR codes. I can imagine that most people know how to generate QR codes, but hey, let's say that you're just wanting to work in this closed environment. You can, of course, do that. So please generate this link into a QR code, and voila. So if anybody wants to check out the data set from the Canadian defoliation that I used and you have your mobile phone, here you go. You can just scan it right now. Anyways, that's it from me. I hope that you have a beautiful Sunday, lots of rest, and have a great start to the week. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.